Hello and welcome to Plymouth, more specifically Plymouth University. My name is Alistair McCallan and I'm a lecturer at Navigation Maritime Science. On the next 30 minutes I'll be giving you a little presentation about life for Navigation Maritime Science students, which will involve the course and also Plymouth. I'm doing this a slightly different way, where I'm trying to go out on my bicycle and showing you some parts of Plymouth so you get a feel as a student what this is about. So tune in. Watch for the next 28-29 minutes. If you do happen to have any questions at the end of it, please contact me using the email address at the very end.
Okay, so hopefully at the point now where you've established you've got the right presentation, this is the course that you want to be doing. So let's just carry on together, and for the next few minutes I'm going to be discussing our course, Plymouth University. I'll try and discuss Plymouth itself a little bit as well, and also your career options. So let's carry on with our first virtual open day tour of Navigation Maritime Science. What are we about? What are we hoping for? What we're hoping to achieve is for students to become quality graduates, so they can go and help supply the maritime industry in either a supporting shoreside role or on a ship. So what shall we say is a ship? Well, there are many definitions, but for the sake of the watch ticket, 24 meters and over 200 tons will tick the box nicely for officer the watch. So how do we do that? Well, we have to be approved by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, have to be accredited by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, and with this accreditation we follow a strict underpinning knowledge background, if you will, which allows the students to go effectively from zero to hero, if you want, from absolutely nothing, and build you up to a point where you know everything that is required to be a third officer on a ship, to be on the bridge of a ship as a navigational officer. And that's a big ask. Okay, a lot of work involved, a lot of studying, but very doable if you put the time in. And what ships could you potentially drive, if you will, at the end of this? We've got a whole variety. I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the news lately the cruise ships. The bottom left hand corner we have what looks like an anchor handler in fairly rough weather. We have the super yachts of the world of various sizes. We have the oil carriers, car carriers, bulk carriers, survey vessels, box boats, the vessels that carry those containers that you see in the back of lorries. A huge variety of ships that, with the officer watch unlimited ticket, I have to add there, will allow you to take part in, to be part of the crew. And what is an unlimited ticket? I hopefully hear you ask. It effectively means you can drive the biggest ships in the world, and some of them have been up to 500,000 tons, real behemoths of the sea, huge ships. That's what unlimited ticket does. Now, I have to make it really quite clear here that a lot of students who come in our course are interested in ships or interested in the technology, but they don't actually want to go to sea as such, but they do want to have an associated maritime career. And when I say not everyone, we're talking maybe 40% of the course, maybe sometimes 50% of the course don't want to go to sea. So what can you do? Well, we've had students go into all walks of life once they've left navigation, maritime science. They've gone into insurance, port management, super yacht rebuilds. That's one student's done that. Technology development, hydrographic office, meteorology office, Exeter Met office, a huge variety of industries that they've stepped into. And the great thing, the one thing I really do enjoy about this course, now I've been here for 5-6 years, is that they come back and will drop in and visit us and tell us where they are in the world, and it really helps us tell you what's happening and what they can achieve and have achieved. All right, so there's a quick introduction there to the industry and where you could possibly end up working in your future career. And so what I'm going to do now is introduce you to the University of Plymouth and some of the sort of the superstructure, to coin a nautical term, of the university. Now, the university has several faculties, and what is a faculty? Well, it's a group of related subject areas. So you can see you've got geography, you've got engineering, and you've got marine sciences there making up the Faculty of Science and Engineering. Now, the one in green, School of Engineering, Computing and Mathematics, that is where the main one, Navigation and Maritime Science, lives. And how do we make this course work? Obviously, you can see there where it sits within the university. Well, we have members of staff. We have, I'd say, 7 real core members of staff, and very lucky to also have 2 more, David Atkins and Dr. Sarah Tuck, helping us with law and business in the final year. Now, if we just start in the top left, just go from left to right and click down to the next column, we've got Captain Graham Adnett, who worked with Trinity House for many years, Captain Bob Hone, who was staff captain of QM2, the Queen Mary 2 and QE2. We have Tom Crichton, who's our associate head for Navigation Maritime Science. He's many years working as a hydrographic surveyor and also a commercial diver. Tim Davies, who's our incredibly experienced technician, ex-Royal Navy operative. What he doesn't know about radar, you don't need to know. Phil Pryor, who's one of our lecturers, again, Royal Navy, chief engineer, also got his Master 200. We've got a shocking picture of me, Alison McCallion. I'm a small commercial vessel skipper, hydrographic surveyor as well, like Tom. What is a hydrographic surveyor? Somebody who maps the seabed. I spent many years doing that for a variety of companies, and also worked freelance for a few years. Bottom left, we've got Associate Professor Dr. Alistair Cree. He is our ship stability specialist with many years of commercial experience before joining Plymouth University. And as I've already alluded to, we've got David Adkins, who helps teach business for us, and Dr. Sarah Tuck, who I believe I'm right in saying is a former captain of an oil tanker. So a huge range of experience there. Now these staff, they want to take their expertise and give you the value of our experience. And how do we do that? Well, we make use of applying that to the equipment that we have within the university. And one of the best things I can do is perhaps show you over the next couple of minutes a short video of some of the equipment. Okay, so I'm going to make use of University's Plymouth, really rather lovely sort of virtual tour of the university and also of Plymouth. So if you want to go and have a look around Plymouth Hoe, which is this icon here, you can do so. You can get a real feel for the city at the same time. It's a great way to explore the university. As you can see from the overhead shots, Plymouth is a fairly small city, very compact city, and one that the students really settle into very quickly and begin to enjoy, and will often say to me that it feels like home, feel very comfortable. And in fact, Plymouth itself is considered to be the second safest city in the country. Now then, students who come to our course, Navigation Maritime Science, will primarily make use of this building here, the Marine Building. The building is approximately 8 years old, fairly modern building, which has in there a couple of really grand facilities. We've got the ship simulator and also the wave tank. So I'm going to start the explore of our ship simulator. Now we have 9 ships in total, and this is what we'd call ship 9, which is our full mission bridge ship simulator. I have to say that the other 8 ships are smaller than this, so this is the main one, and the one that students obviously love coming into, because what you can't really tell, even though it's a fantastic 360 wraparound shot, is the depth of field that this room gives us. And it's one that when you are in there, your eyes, your ears are tricked, your mind is tricked, and for you to believe that you're completely immersed in your environment. So you begin to sway with the motion on the vessel. It's so clever that the rumbling of the ship engines will come through the speakers. You can hear the sound of aeroplanes if they go past. It really is a very nice piece of kit which allows students to take what they have learned and apply in very safe situations, and also where you can take a ship all around the world. So we can go to Sydney Opera House, have a look at that, all the way up to Plymouth, and dock a ferry into Mill Bay Docks if that's what we decide to do. So it's a really versatile piece of equipment, and one that students really enjoy being in. It's very, very useful for our course. And as it pans round again, you can also see the myriad amount of buttons and screens that the students become to get useful with and learn over a period of time. So it's got 2 radar screens, it's got an ECDIS chart, display information system, a screen. Obviously we have buttons down here, from the controls to the gyro compass to the bow thruster, for example, or stern thruster. Plenty that the students can learn and practice. What else do we have within this building? Well, we also have the wave tanks. There are 2 wave tanks. This is the smaller of the 2. This is the one called the Coastal Basin, and this is where we take our 4-meter ship models, and we allow the students to see with these ship models the different effects of moving weights within, and how that can be very detrimental to the stability of the vessel. Now, this might seem a surprise to people, but even only 3-4 years ago, we had a car carrier within the UK effectively fall over because of problems of her stability. And we explained to the students why, what went wrong, how can they solve this problem and make sure it doesn't happen to them. And so the use of these models helps to underline the taught theoretical element of stability and allows the students to put it into practice. Very useful tank that we make use of, and also the models. And when I do say models, we're not talking about a bit of airfix here, but maybe like a £10,000 model that's been made, which helps to allow us to examine and explore these problems that students will face. Okay, so I'm going to return to the PowerPoint now and continue with other parts of our course, how the course works, and we'll come back to another sort of video session, if you will, later. Okay, so for the next few minutes I'm going to talk about the difference between BSc Honours and FTSC, Navigation Maritime Science. So BSc Honours, what does that mean? The Honours means your project in your final taught year. If you're on the FTSC, you won't need to do a project. Another main difference between the two is the BSc expects UCAS points of 80 to 112. So if you have science or predominantly science-based points, we'll be offering you 80. So 80 points, science, what do we mean by science? Well, you've got the traditional courses, for example, maths, physics, chemistry. We'll also include geography, psychology in the mix as well. Now, if you don't have the science background, we offer then 110, 112 points. We don't do this to be difficult. What we are trying to do is protect yourself, because this course is a science course. There's a lot of technology on it, a lot of maths in it, and we're making sure that you understand that it's perhaps not what you've been used to before.
That said, I also look, as I'm the admissions tutor, I also look at people's personal statements that they send in on the UCAS forms. And that really can help the decision process for me to understand that, yes, this is a course for you.
We also have the FDSE, which is at 48 UCAS points, and this is the main difference between this course and the BSc is the fact there's no final taught year. Years 1 and 2 are identical in every way, shape and form. The lectures are the same, the practicals are the same, the courseworks are the same, the exams are the same, the lecturers are the same. There is no difference between the two. And what I will say is, if for whatever reason you have a slightly poor showing because of in this particular instance, maybe because of coronavirus, and you don't get the points you wish or were hoping for BSc, what students do often do is they go onto the FDSC route, and after successfully completing either year 1 or 2, we can then transfer them onto the BSc route if they so wish. Alright. So, as I aforementioned, we are accredited with the MCA, which is incredibly important. The MCA, the Maritime Coast Guard Agency, and the Merchant Navy Training Board, they effectively design and approve the pathway that the students have to be on. Now, if you want to do Officer of the Watch, this is very, very important, because without this approval, you won't be able to then get your final career goal, which is to get your Officer of the Watch ticket, which allows you to go and walk onto a ship and to be effectively in charge of a vessel, to be an Officer of the Watch looking after it. To help achieve this goal, we have shipping company sponsorship from SSTG primarily, and also from Chiltern. And what these do, without going into too much detail, is it makes use of a government smart funding scheme where companies will sponsor cadets, sponsor students who will go and live and work on board ships for 12 months in total, not 12 months at once, but 12 months in total, and build up that sea time that is required. Quite often the students get help towards their fees, so they will get somewhere in the region of £600 to £700, somewhere in the region.
That's per month for the time that they're sponsored, so a maximum of 36 months.
It's not written in stone, it is a commercial contract, so it does change, but they get help towards their fees, and this really does make a big difference in offsetting the final cost of being on a degree programme.
We must remember this is a commercial contract. It's outside the confines of the university, so you have to go and apply for this sponsorship. You have to attend an interview and also pass your EMG1 medical. And the common thing which catches people out in the medical is that they are colourblind.
If you're on the Officer Watch route, you will be studying alongside all our other students, whether it be students on our course or potentially students on the law course, business course. You'll be studying alongside everyone else. And so just because you're sponsored, just because you're accredited, doesn't mean you'll lose that university experience. You'll still stick your toe into that warm pool, as it were, and experience the really amazing side of what a university is like, what it offers. Okay, so I've spoken about Officer of the Watch, but what about those people who want to work shoreside? You know, there's a whole raft of people who don't want to be out there on the sea. Well, we have an industrial placement option. It's on the BSc course that this is offered on, and you get your chance to build up that all-important CV in between years 2 and your final year on the BSc programme. And why is it important? Because when you leave us, to have that year's experience that you can stamp on your CV and wave around is really quite crucial to getting that first lucky break, that first job opportunity once you've left us. Now, students have made use of a variety of companies, some well-known, some not so well-known. So for the moment, I will mention the more well-known ones, the RNLI, the UK Hydrographic Office, those excellent organisation that makes the charts, as well as the less well-known companies, the more local companies. And I have to say that you have to make sure that it's a maritime placement. We want it to be maritime, we want it to be relevant to the course. What do you get in there? Well, you get staff mentoring, so we'll communicating with you during the course, we'll be having phone conversations, Zoom as it may well be, possibly even visits as well, to try and identify what's happening, if it's going well, if it's not going well, if there are any issues, and support students as best we can while they're actually undertaking it. So, navigation, maritime science, what are we studying? What's the nuts and bolts of what are you going to learn? Well, on this screen here I've got 6 tabs, and to be honest, there's an awful lot of blurring between the two. Technology, science and navigation, they really very nicely knit together. We have the technology of GPS, GLONASS, the global navigation satellite systems, the cyber that's now becoming very, very relevant with them. Obviously got the more traditional radar and the sonar, and there is this desire to make sure that we really get you to understand how it works. We don't want you to be just a button pusher. We want you to know when you effectively use the computer, you understand what is actually being done behind it all. The ones, maybe not the ones and zeros, but the bit of the spherical trigonometry that the computer will be processing. And to do that allows you to have a better handle on technology, for you to be in charge of the technology rather than technology being in charge of you. And that's what we really find very important. Second one around, we've got the key graduate skills. What's a key graduate skill? Well, what we want is when you're able to think on your feet, to have a level of independence that has been learnt by being at university. To coin a university phrase, it'll be the critical thinking, the ability for you to go out there to identify a problem, solve the problem. It's very important at university. I've mentioned science and technology to some degree. The navigation side, that is both traditional and modern. What do I mean by traditional? Hand-bearing compasses, that's traditional. Modern, GPS, cyber, right up to date. The business and law. Second year, you're going to be introduced to a law module. As a potential master or officer on board a ship, you've got to know the subject area, a bit of the subject area. It is a vast subject area, but you've got to know. In the final year, we have business module to really hone your business awareness, your understanding of what is all important, and be able to make the business function in a very competitive environment. And the last one on the right, you've got management and leadership. And the whole module designed for this. And you might be thinking, well, why a whole module? Well, for some people, natural leaders, they're born with it. They can just do it. For other people, they have it. They've got the ability to identify and to know what needs to be done. But for whatever reason, they've not seen it their place to boss somebody around. And so we have to coax out that side of them. And likewise, perhaps also put a lid on some other people's over-exuberance in bossing people around, understanding what makes a good leader and being part of a team.
The university owns various sizes of vessels up to 14 metres in size, and we're very fortunate in this course that we can make use of these, and the two that we primarily make use of are based in this marina here called Queen Anne Battery Marina. And just to the right of this marina there is a university building called the Marine Station, which is a very new facility which allows the students and ourselves, members of staff, to make use of some really fantastic facilities. The vessels that we use, Falcon, Spirit and Take the Helm, are great for helping to contextualise what the students learn in the classroom and to take that theoretical knowledge and put it into practice. There's nothing quite like understanding that putting your pencil and rubber down on the chart table in the classroom where they stay forever more is not the same when you're on the vessel, when they shoot all over the place if it's slightly rough. It's also great from the point of view of the environment that we're teaching in, because it really is quite a stunning environment. I think we're very fortunate to have it. We have a vessel coming across there. The classroom, effectively, that you'll be teaching in is Plymouth Sound. If I just show you there, you can see the breakwater in the distance, a couple of Royal Fleet Auxiliary vessels. We've got Drake's Island, and all the multitude of navigation marks which we can take real advantage of. Another thing that the students are very sensible in taking advantage of is members of staff, not only within our course but also the marine station itself. We've got dedicated skippers who run the vessels, and they are very enthusiastic when it comes to teaching students and actually passing on their trade and turning them from somebody who may have no knowledge of the sea to actually competent and trustworthy professionals when they leave the course. And I think that's something to really be sort of reinforced every time. I keep coming back to it. What we are looking to do is to build you as a person and get you to a point where you can start your career and really feel confident with yourself.
So there's the vessels. What else does the university invest in? Well, it invests heavily into its buildings. We've got a £40 million build going on for the new engineering block, which hopefully will be online in the next 3 years. And looking to the future, we're looking to utilise that ourselves. Also been successful with a €6 million grant to look at maritime cyber research, which is very new, very recent to us. There's also other research projects that we also are involved in. So anyway, I'm hoping that you've had a interesting sort of time listening to this and have answered most of your questions. And what we're going to do now is leave you with a few slides for you to look through at your own time, and a comment from a returning student from 2-3 years ago about her time away at sea. And I think it sums up sea time really quite nicely. So that's it from me. Any questions? My email address is at the end of this presentation. There's a few more slides after this, but without me talking. If you want to contact admissions, the email address is also there. Thank you very much, and that's it from me now.